RTE's biggest show on their whole network has been cancelled. Of course, we're talking about Upfront with Katie Hannon. Me and Katie Hannon have a long history together. I've been reacting to that show on my YouTube channel for the past 2 years, and I have been dismantling them from the inside out. The show has obviously lost a massive amount of funding due to the absolute bullshit and nonsense that it was spreading, along with RTE and all the mainstream media in general. This one's going to be crazy. We have 4 news stories today, so stay tuned for those. First story is a breaking: RTE cancels flagship current affairs show Upfront with Katie Hannon. So for those who don't know, that was one of their biggest shows on RTE. It was absolutely massive, pulled the biggest numbers compared to any other show. Let's read this article and find out exactly what happened. It says, Katie Hannon's Monday night RTE show will not return in September, paving the way for her to possibly take over the Live Line gig. This Friday will be Joe Duffy's final time on the airways after 27 years fronting the daily radio show and 37 years working for RTE. 37 years of spreading propaganda and trying to brainwash the Irish public. So it is good riddance to bad rubbish when it comes to Joe Duffy. Good to see him leave, absolutely. And it said speculation had put Hannon as one of the frontrunners to cover the gig, although she had filled in for Duffy so many in recent times. So it says that her show has come to an end, and maybe she'll be taking over Joe Duffy's role, okay? Which is like going from bad to worse with Joe Duffy, honestly. She will also present a new TV show, which will lead up to the presidential election in October. So she will be covering, hopefully, Conor McGregor winning as president. That will be great to see the establishment cringe and whine as he wins. Katie Hannon said, I'm very proud of what we achieved on Upfront. We managed to buck the international trend and actually grew our audience on linear television and our digital footprint. It was a privilege to work with our small team of talented and hardworking colleagues led by our editor, Janet Traynor. Of course, guys, of course. Boy, oh boy. I mean, things go from bad to worse on that whole news network. You see people like Joe Duffy leaving, but then they're bringing in people like Katie Hannon. It's like almost, from bad to flipping worse, guys. So, hopefully the establishment understands that nobody wants to see these shows, that there is a change in the vibe, a current vibe shift in the whole landscape of the internet. And we want to see actually people that, put out honest reporting news, like myself and others. Now, the next news story that we have is in relation to food and the increase of price of everything in Ireland, okay? If you guys haven't noticed, in 2022, things were a lot cheaper than they were now in 2025. It almost seems like a 50% increase in things. And if we're talking about chicken, it's actually a 60% increase. So the next news story that we have is from Mary Lou McDonald. It says that a kilo chicken used to cost €5 in 2022, now costs €11. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. If you guys go to Tesco, Dunn's, Aldi, Lidl, Marks and Spencer's, all these different places, if you guys are flipping rich, Marks and Spencer's, things have gotten insanely expensive, guys. The housing, the renting prices. Ireland is now one of the most expensive countries in the world, let alone Europe. So here, talk about the price of increases and the price and the cost of increase in this country.
Food prices are through the roof. So let's take a look at some of the basics. In the last year alone, a pound of butter is up €1. A kilo of Irish cheddar cheese up 57 cents. 2 litres of milk is up 27 cents. And writing in the Irish Times last week, Conor Pope found that a kilo of chicken that cost €4.99 in 2022 now costs €11. That's just crazy. This is the reality that people are facing every week when they go to the supermarket to do their shop. And they rightly expect the government will intervene. And I'm asking you quite simply, in respect of people's grocery bills, their weekly shop, what are you proposing to do now in respect of soaring costs and prices that are causing real pressure for families across the country?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Like, anyone that's into fitness or any of that kind of, you know, healthy lifestyle living, I know some people are, maybe some people aren't, but you can tell at the price of things that were used to be healthy, you know, the price of things that, yeah, that are healthy, but the price used to be crazy for healthy products. Now it's just insane. Now it's almost unattainable. You know, you have whey protein, you have chicken that have like doubled in price. Like, everything has just gotten crazy. I don't know if it's to do with the supply, with the transport, but everything together collectively for these different products, you know, health products, you know, maybe even your body wash, your flipping lotion, all this shit, guys, that you use to keep healthy, you know, even like sunscreen, all this stuff has just tripled in price. You know, so it's absolutely crazy. And I'm not so sure exactly what's happening, but if things keep going this way, if we keep increasing the price of things, I mean, it's going to be a dark day, guys. You know, a kilo of chicken breast, €11 is just outrageous, guys. Like, nobody should have to pay that much for chicken. I mean, it is just out of control, guys. You know, €5 is a pretty good price. You know, you're not getting ripped off, but €11 is too much, you know. So I would advise everybody to switch to like Irish mince meat, beef. You know, steak is actually cheaper, I think, than chicken now, or at least it's like on the same path as chicken. I get minced meat very, very cheap. You know, so it's just crazy, guys. I understand that the prices have just gone through the roof now. So, and we don't know what exactly is happening. Now, the next story that we have, guys, is one from the LGB, you know, QT, all this type of society, which I thought June Pride Month was kind of dead. You know, I thought that the woke mind virus has been killed in America. I thought that Donald Trump, that whole establishment, killed the woke mind virus on the internet, and it did. I made a video a few months ago, at the beginning of the month actually, talking about how the pride flag was not put on any of these major, you know, channels like CNN, you know, and Starbucks and all this kind of thing that they would do every single year for the last 8 years, guys. Okay, every year in June, Pride Month. Okay, this is quote unquote Pride Month, which I'm not sure why they don't have Family Month or Straight Month. Okay, they have to have a Pride Month. Every single year, they would change the flags, they would change the logos of their actual Starbucks, McDonald's. They would all change their logos to a pride flag to accommodate this. But that didn't happen this year, guys. Because Donald Trump was elected, that did not happen. And look now, guys. Look at how woke and gay Ireland is. Look at this, guys. Dublin Airport, boom, pride flag. Dublin Bus News, boom, pride flag. The Lewis, the Lewis, could you imagine, guys? The pride flag. And Imrod Éireann, our national Irish rail. Okay, the trains, lads. The trains have gone trans. Okay, trans, or what do we call it, guys? Trans pride, all trans lives matters, or whatever. Okay, all these different things matter now. It's absolutely crazy, guys. You know, why they need to pontificate and virtue signal Dublin Airport, Dublin Bus, the Lewis, and Imrod Éireann, the train station. Why they have to virtue signal to the people of Ireland is just beyond me, guys, okay? You know, it's not 1980. Okay, nobody is persecuted for being homosexual, trans. Nobody is persecuted like that anymore. You know, like I said before, guys, there's no issue with that stuff, but, you know, they don't have to keep pushing it in our faces every single year. No one gives a shit, guys. You understand? Like, this is to just make themselves feel better and get attention. It's just pure attention seeking, and I won't have it, guys. I will not have it. Okay, it's pure nonsense. Now, here's a new one. The last news story we're going to report to today is the GPO Museum. It says, government told to sort crime on O'Connell Street before they open or push this GPO Museum. Okay, it says, the ambitious new plan will seek historic building host a new national museum following a recommended from the Dublin City Task Force. So they're going to start up a now historic national museum, which is very cool. I would love to see that. You know, it's almost like that big one, the Smithsonian in America, in Washington, D.C. Okay, very cool museum. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that. But like, it'd be great to see a national one in Dublin. All right, our biggest city, massive, great for tourism. But it says here that yesterday around 1 o'clock, this man on Lunchline Live, Dubliner Tony, said the idea of a new museum was nice, but he fears the North Inner City gives tourists a bad impression of Ireland, okay? It's not like coming to the Cliffs of Moher. It's not like flipping traveling around Cork, Donegal. The north side of Dublin is quite rough, okay? A lot of drugs, a lot of flipping homeless people, okay? And a lot of course, illegal immigration, people wandering around, drinking coffee or whatever. He said at 1 o'clock, I was parked on O'Connell Bridge, and what I saw was absolutely horrific. He said drug dealing, drug taking, needles, everyone walking around the bridge like zombies, okay? Crazy. Crazy amount of heroin being used. Tourists tried to get a picture of the Halfpenny Bridge and getting disturbed and hassled. It was just horrific to see. He also added, I didn't spot one guard on O'Connell Street all that day. Okay, that's because the Gardaí don't really want to enforce the law, guys. They don't really give a shit anymore. I mean, morality is at an all-time low. Further up the quays, there's just people openly smoking crack and drug dealing. It's just annoying tourists. I'm sure we've a bad name across the world for it. He said he loves O'Connell Street, but the area is not right for a national museum. People aren't going to go into that if they're not going to be safe going home at nighttime. And he's absolutely correct, guys. You know, they have destroyed actively our biggest and best city, Dublin. You know, Dublin, it was a beautiful city. I used to go there when I was a young kid, you know, 10-year-old. I used to hold my mum and dad's hand. We used to walk around Dublin. Oh, this is beautiful. And, you know, there'd be some characters shouting at you, and it'd be kind of like a wild city, like a big city, okay, millions of people. But now they have completely destroyed that, guys, with flipping, you know, crazy amounts of mass illegal immigration. You know, there's people massively taking drugs there. There's homelessness, you know, from our own people, 15,000 homeless people. You have crazy amount of corruption. You know, you guys can see there's also violent crime, people being stabbed. I reported on the story. 2 Algerians stabbed each other in the stomach and the leg, critical condition, blood everywhere. Broad daylight, you know, this is just crazy. This is all happening in broad daylight, guys. You know, he says 1 o'clock for a reason. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Broad daylight. Actively drugs and people just going nuts, people going insane. So it is crazy to see that, you know, and I hope that one day they do solve that issue. But my fear is in Dublin, it's just going to keep getting worse. And it is slowly moving out towards the west, guys, you know. It hasn't hit the west and the south and north yet. Donegal, Galway, Sligo, Cork, it hasn't hit there yet. More so it has hit Cork. But that crazy attitude is going to come to all parts of Ireland, and it will destroy Ireland if something is not done quickly. I love you all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the join link underneath the video, become a member today. Let me know of any other news stories you want me to react to. You know, good thing to see that RTE is getting more and more cancelled. I hate to see RTE actually, you know, making any more shows. It's good to see that show Upfront with Katie Hannon is cancelled, because that shit was the biggest load of bullshit ever, being perfectly honest. You know, I thought it was just bullshit, guys, you know, and they didn't really put out anything that's honest. They ignored a lot of news stories and they just created the news. They didn't actually report on any news. So let me know your thoughts. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.